Jack, I want to thank you for coming to camp. My name is Thad Johnson with ABC, and I'll be doing your pitching analysis today. The first thing we're going to talk about is the balance position, and what we're really looking for guys to do as they get into the balance position is for them to be over their back leg. Everything looks great here. I'd go ahead and just have you try to sit behind your belly button just a hair with your head. You always want to kind of just chin up to the belly button. Again, this is a very slight adjustment. You just really want to just sit back on that backside as much as possible, and you do a good job. This would be something you would just continue. Again, that would just be almost like an optional deal. But you get up to the top. You start to move forward just a hair right there before you break your hands. But again, it's a very, very slight action. You do a great job as we start the directional side of the delivery of keeping your weight back. You kind of have a drop and drive action, which is fine. The one thing I look for as guys make their way towards home plate is do they have some tilt in their hips? If they do, it means they're keeping their weight on their backside. Preferably, I'd like you to separate the hips and the shoulders, and kind of get rid of some of the shoulder tilt. But again, if it works, it's fine. If you have trouble bringing the ball down, okay, then I would really try to get a little bit more stabilization with the shoulders, and as you make your way towards home plate, they should just be a little bit more level. But you're doing a good job of protecting yourself from flying open early, and losing that weight on that backside. So that's real good. As we move forward, again, your hips are tilted still, which is awesome. You're keeping your weight back, but this is where that top half really needs to start catching up to the front side, because what's going to happen is you're going to be behind. You're going to be behind the lower half so much it's going to get to a point where you're going to have to rotate through, and you're not going to create that leverage out in front. And this is where you're seeing it. You're nice and long, okay? You're nice and long right here, but as your foot begins to hit the ground, you tighten up. You're starting to shorten up your top half just to catch up, okay, to the lower half, because you still have that tilt in the back, or in the top half. You're kind of still leaning over. It's the ground. What you see is you see the short front side, okay. Ideally, that glove, when you hit the ground, we should be out still with some length. You should be out here in line with the foot. That's one thing I always look for, is at foot strike, are we in line? Which you're not. You're shorting up because you're trying to, that top half. You're late, so you're trying to pull that top half through because you've kept your weight back almost to a fault. Your hips are opened up, which is good. Okay, your hips are going to open up before the top half, but then with that short front side, what you see is you start seeing that chest, okay, expose itself to the hitter just a little bit early. This position right here at foot strike would be awesome, the position that I just put you in. But again, if you can get to that point and take that 2 frames later, or further out in the delivery, which all you need to do is you need to work on staying in line a little bit longer, keeping that glove, okay, in line with the target, you should be fine. A great drill for this would be to have someone stand out here in front of you, okay, and hold an object in the hand, preferably a glove, and just what you work on is just slapping that target with a towel. A guy could even could even put his palm up facing you, and you just slap his hand and try to create some length, okay, with the top half, getting out over that front leg. But again, this position that we're sitting in right here, Jack, it would be ideal for the loaded position or the foot strike position, which is right here on your delivery. And as you can see, you're just a hair opened up. So definitely something you need to consider is doing that towel drill. Okay, you can do a 2-knee drill or a 1-knee drill where all you're working on is just keeping that top half closed a long time, and just side less with the front. Want to point out that you do a great job of stepping in line with the target. I have to say that you're probably toe to heel, heel to toe is exactly how we like to see it. Allows the backside to really get through. And then the release, we should see a little bit more flexion. And again, because you've cut yourself off, you're kind of seeing the backside break down a little bit because you've really not able to use short. Okay, we should really see some sort of flexion here right at release, and then that back leg will eventually end up coming swinging up and getting through and coming up in this direction right here. But you've kind of got this collapsed backside at release. And again, the best way to do this would be to do a towel drill to work on extension with the top half. You're going to have to really flex that chest and get that chest a little bit up here. You're going to try to, without getting rid of that round in the back, you're going to really have to flex the chest, get it to stay a little bit taller above the waist, get extension with the hand, and then really try to stay connected with the rubber just a little bit longer. And then you'll see that leg will straighten out as you release the baseball, and you'll kick through and follow through with the lower half. Another good drill would just be a simple line drill where you draw a line in the dirt off that rubber and just work dry mechanics, keeping that front side closed, and just really drive that line towards home plate. So we'll get you up on the mound here for another pitch, and we'll just go and review. Want to make sure that as you come up to the balanced position, that we're staying over our backside. As you do, we move forward. As we move forward, you want to make sure that while moving forward, you do keep your weight back, but you feel the weight, okay, in your lower half, and not in your top half. So we're lifting, we're falling, we're trying to keep our line. Let's go ahead and square those shoulders up, get them a little bit more perpendicular to the ground, so when we land, we're not late on our turn. This one's you do a little bit better job right here, but we're a little late, so our top half is going to shorten up and speed up to catch up, and that's going to cause a little bit of a rotational delivery off the top or off the side of the baseball. Ball has a tendency to go up in the air. As you can see, there's not out of your hand, this ball should want to go downhill. It should want to drive downhill, and it's going up. Throwing a flat ball because your fingers are not on top because you are late getting to that release point. Okay, and then with the finish, let's go ahead and get that strong backside. What I would recommend doing, put yourself in the loaded position, as we see right here. You want to put yourself in that loaded position, separate your hands, rock back, and then thrust your top half forward over your front leg, okay, and try to keep your back leg connected with the ground. Don't allow yourself to follow through, if that makes sense. Okay, just keep that back leg on the ground. What it's going to force you to do is just keep that weight back, okay, and not let that lower half collapse on you at release. You'd be a little bit stronger with your lower half. So, Jack, I want to thank you for coming to camp. I hope you learned a lot, and hopefully we'll see you out there again sometime soon.